Assalamualaikum. Greetings, fellow scaffold enthusiasts. In today's video, I'm going to share to you about scaffold field inspection as per GI 8.001 and says into to scaffolding. If you are currently certified by Aramco to inspect a scaffold tag that you are having have the scaffold user's safety checklist on the reverse side of the scaffold tag. So on that particular portion of the scaffold tag, it is mentioned the guide how to inspect a scaffold. As mentioned on this particular pictures, we have the foundation, the post, the runner, the tubing, the planks, the guardrail, the stability, and the access. So mainly we have only 8 points for scaffold inspection sequences. We have the foundation inspection, the posts or standard runners and bearers, tubing and couplers, planks and working platforms, guardrails and two boards, stability inspection, and the access. Sequence number 1 it was written on the reverse side of the scaffold tag. It refers to scaffold inspections. The foundations, mainly the foundations. So timber shells, in other words, is sole board. It is a 9 inches width and 1.5 inches thick. So the minimum length is 30 inches. During inspection, if you found that the sole board or the timber shells is only 600 mm, half meter, so it is rejected, meaning it is a major fault. When during the inspection, you need to write on the fault as the sole board is less than the requirement, which is 30 inches, and the actual is only 600 mm. So the sole board must be replaced. So take note on this particular inside parenthesis and close parenthesis, open and close parenthesis. It is mentioned timber shells are used to support scaffold on soft surfaces. See, sand, asphalt. Just this morning I encountered such non-compliance practices. I will show you pictures and how it is being followed since for a long time. See, I will show you this is the asphalt pavement. See, I am going to give you the major fault in the foundations, non-compliance. See, when I discussed with the scaffold erector, meaning the scaffolder, he told me, sir, there is no need of sole board on this particular area because it is a hard surface, it is an asphalt. My personal opinion, not a professional one. Oh yeah, you are correct, it is a hard one. No need of wood planks. But when we go through the checklist and the requirement, the Aramco requirement, although it is a hard surface, a solid one, we still need a wooden plank. We still need a sole board on this. So before you install this base plate and post, you need to put a wooden sole board on here. This type of assembly is acceptable if the surface is solid concrete, meaning a casted concrete, a solid one, not asphalt. So we are clear on this. Next. So we have the sequence number 2, the post. So the post, this is the vertical portion. So this is very critical, you know, when you compare a light duty and a medium duty. They are having, as you can see here, they are having the same width, say 1.2 meter or 1.2 meter, but they're having some major difference on the length, the longitudinal part. So for light duty, it is permitted to have a 2.7 post spacing length longitudinally, but for the medium duty, you are only permitted up to 1.8 meter. So you just easy to remember, the same width but different length. And the joint, this is the adjacent joint. I'll explain to you on the pictures, the next slide. And the post connected with a sleeve. I'm seeing some scaffold, maybe they are having some laziness. The joint, the both posts, the tube and coupler post, they joint with the double coupler, an angle coupler. Maybe they do not have the joint sleeve or the joint bench. And I rejected it and replaced it with the sleeve coupler. See, I'm showing to you this is the post. Okay, this is the post 1, 2, 3, 4 posts. So, for example, you have a joint somewhere here. Okay, if you have a joint in this area, it is rejected, or in this area, it is rejected or major fault. You are allowed to have a joint from this area to your cross section area. A joint on adjacent post in here, it's permitted on the next bay. So if you have joint here, you need to ensure that the joint of your adjacent post is somewhere here, or from here, the same level on your cross section. We are clear? So sequence number 3, this is the horizontal portion of the scaffold. It must be level also, plumb. For the runner, you are permitted up to 2 meters only, maximum. If you think that the distance from runner to runner, from bottom runner to top runner is more than 2 meters, it is rejected. And it should be a maximum is 2 meters. But minimal, you can have not reaching 2 meters, it should be less than 2 meters. And there is some particular situation. The runner or the bearers was installed underneath the runner. It is not permitted. If the runner, it should be always at the bottom, and the bearer, it's always on top of runner. It can never be below the runner. So this is the, for example, this is the 4 inches. It should be extend. For example, there is some the runner. This is the bottom pipe, the bottom tube, and on the top of that one, the cross section, it should be extended at least 4 inches. If you see that it is extended just maybe less than 100 mm, then it is rejected as well. So the bottom runners, this is the first assembly. Runner and ledger connected to the post. It should be at least minimum, meaning as you can, if you can bring it down a minimum of 6 inches, then it is okay. So this is the first set of runner, this one, and this is the bearer. So they are mentioning if you install it more than 6 inches and there is no other obstruction, it is rejected. You will not accept it. It should be changed at least from ground level to this one, achieve at least 6 inches only. If above 6 inches, then do not accept it. So ledger, runner, bearer. runner, bearer. Next. So sequence number 4, this is the tubing and couplers material inspection. If you found some pipes which is bended or severely rusted, don't use it, reject it. Paint it with the fluorescent color and remove it from site. Just for clarification, we have two types of tube. We have tubing for with non-embossed and embossed. If you build a scaffold intended for heavy use, meaning medium duty, you need to make sure that the type of tubing that you are using is embossed, meaning it is a thick one with the properly marking tubing. Although we are also allowed to use a tubing with not an embossed one, we just externally print only by same like a stamp. We can use it, but that is only intended for light duty, not for heavy duty. So for couplers, sometimes we are inspecting it prior to the erection. Sometimes the nut is not rotated, so reject it. Sometimes for example, a swivel coupler, it is stuck, it cannot be rotated, so reject it, do not use it. And some couplers also rusted. If the condition is not good, then remove all from site and replace it with the couplers in good condition. So step number the recent step is about couplers. It's about all this material. This is the post, the bracing, etc. This is all the inspection with the material, mainly the material, the tube and the couplers. So this is a tube and coupler type of scaffold. All the members, all the parts is tubing. So we have the ledger, we have the runner, we have the bearer, we have the bracing, we have the top rail, midrail, all is tube, and it is connected by a coupler. So we have two types of scaffold. I need to remind, we have system and tube and coupler. This is the mainly type of scaffold used inside Aramco. We have sequence number 5, planks and working platform inspection. In this particular stage, you already completed the inspection of you are reaching more than 50% only. Now you are on the top, bottom inspection done, mid done. You are on the top inspecting the planks. So the same way, you need to inspect the flanks, the thickness, the width, and you need to check end to end if there is no damage. So the same way, we need to inspect the thickness, which is 38 mm. The width is 9 inches or 25 mm. And this is we need to take note. But mainly, I was working with scaffolding for more than 15 years now. But I never see 50 mm scaffold wall planks. Normally, I'm seeing only these 38 mm scaffold planks. So the requirement is, if you have this thickness 1.5 or 38 mm, the supporting tube, meaning from one location to another, it should be 1.5 or less than. During inspection, if you find more than one, let's say 1.6, 1.7, it is fault. So during your inspection, it is the spacing of the bearer of the wood of the bearer is excessive. The spacing should be at least 1.5 or less than 1.5. In here, if you have, for example, just for instance, you have a 50 mm thick or 2 inches thick wood planks, the spacing is longer, 2.4 meter. But I never encountered this thick So planks firmly secured. Normally on the site we are using board retaining clamps to secure the flanks. So flanks overhang, this is normally when you need to ensure that it is not at the edge of the flanks. It should be more than extra. And flanks, yeah, it is supported overlap at least 300 mm. So for example, you have a longer scaffold and you need to join two flanks at the same time. If you cannot join both ends with the bearer, then you can make it overlap with one bearer only. If you cannot make overlap, both ends of the plank should have a bearer. So this is what I am trying to say. This is the inspection for the planks. So if you see from here to here, post to post, that is 2 meters. So if you have 2 meter distance, you are non-compliant now. So we need to put one more pipe board bearer in the middle to meet up with the requirement, which is 1.5 meter. So bearer at the end, and another bearer at the middle to comply with the requirement. Okay guys, we have the sequence number 6. This is the top portion of the scaffold. The sequence number 5 is about the platform that you are standing on when you are working in the scaffold. And this particular inspection is about the side portion, the mid and the top. This is the one guarding you so that you will not fall down. So it says here that the top rail, the mid rail, and the toe board should be installed on all open side. Whenever possible, whenever there is, all the open sides should be closed with the guardrail and toe boards. And you should not install it as what you wish. There is a limit, okay? The top rail should be installed at least 38 inches. Minimum, and maximum is 45 to all platforms. And if during my Aramco the practical exam, the upright, okay, the upright, the post, the midrail is installed inside the uprights and the post, but the top rail is installed outside. So I recorded it during my inspection report as fault, and I wrote there the top rail was installed outside of all upright and post. Then the corrective action, top rail should be installed inside the upright and post. So sequence number 6, we are discussing about the top rail and mid rail. So this is the top rail, this is the mid rail. As per the standard, this one maximum height is 45 inches and minimum is 38 inches. You cannot go high more than 45, you cannot go down less than 38. So for 38 to 45. And if you see some upright was as what my previous Aramco exam, this upright was installed outside of this post, so it is a major. Now this is compliance because all top rail and mid rail is installed inside the post, so it compliance. Sequence number 7, this is the stability. So ties is required, meaning we need to have additional components to scaffold. For example, you have the scaffold of 8 meters. So you have a 2 meter width, so 2, 4, 6, 8. So 8 meters high, meaning you are 4 times the minimum base dimension. So you need to have a ties. meaning it should be attached to a certain structural components. You need to have a ties or bracing, additional bracing or additional attachment to the structures or building. Excuse me. Scaffold is vertically braced in both direction in full length of the scaffold. We'll discuss in the next slide with the pictures. Horizontal plan brace is installed. Tall tower braces are installed as close as possible to the force runner. Okay. This is the explanation. So he's talking about bracing. This is the bracing. Bracing, diagonal bracing, bracing. And at the bottom, this is the plan bracing. It is for mainly used for tower or mobile scaffold. One here, from that post to this post, and one another one, this is different direction, contractorial direction. And dimension, it should be near to the node point. So your bracing, sometime in the Aramco exam, the placement of bracing is very far from the node point. Sometimes 600 mm from here to here. So it should be within 300 mm. So from here to top 300, from here to here 300. Less is okay, more is problem. The last sequence number 8, access inspection. This is the component how you go up to the platform. So you should have a ladder, stair ramp or walkways. So are you wondering why there is a requirement of a 0.9 meter above the landing or platform? Because you should have something to hold on, you know. If the end of the ladder is just the same level of the platform, then it's very hard for you to climb up the working platform. So this is the both side rails are extended, ladders are secured. Ladders are secured normally, aside from the post, the runner, the ledger, we add more tubes just to secure the ladders. I will explain to you here, the next slides. So we are talking about the access. The last inspection is access. This is the ladder. See, we already have discussed about the components. Now I will mention the 2 additional components. This is the bottom ladder tube. Bottom ladder tube, it is attached to the 2 posts by double coupler or angle coupler. See, so one coupler. See, one bottom ladder tube, one here, one ladder tube in the middle, and one attachment on the top. So 1, 2, 3 attachment. This is another member just to fix the ladder. Then after the inspection, from sequence 1, 2, 3, 4 to 8, and as you can see, it is compliance and it is safe to use for the crew. Then you will fill up this portion over here. For me, as I'm having both inspector and supervisor cards, normally I will sign the scaffold tag number, which is marked on the scaffold holder. Then I will mention over here the location, the specific location. If it is pump station number, or where is it exactly. Then here the load rating. If you have light duty, so you need to tick here. Medium duty, here, over here. If it is special load bearing or whatever, you need to tick it here. So it depends on the working platform. For example, they are working 2 platforms. They are working at the same time. You need to put here 2. And total plank, you need to put here 2 also. For if the scaffold is less than 6 meter, then only supervisor will fill on this portion. Then if the scaffold is more than 6 meter, then the inspector will complete this portion. We need to understand also that the inspection of scaffold is is happening every 14 days or 2 weeks. So if we inspect the scaffold now, we need to count 2 more weeks to come back for re-inspection. Okay guys, that's it for now. Good luck to your Aramco practical exam. See you guys.